We're live. Welcome again. Hello, Greg.
Yeah, it's been a little while, but
It's
been a,
been a while.
been a minute.
Um, I forgot what we normally do. Oh yeah, this is the clutch kick. We don't have a
Something
guest
like that.
today. Yeah,
No, we don't do guests anymore.
do we? Ooh, okay,
Oh, I don't know. We just
maybe.
don't like people. No, sorry, I think it's more the case that not enough people like us.
No, they don't. No.
Too many of the butt hurts.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
this has started awkward already.
Yeah. So normally we start off with the news, but it'd be actually not much has happened, has it? Because it's like the downtime, whatever the off season time
Yeah,
since we last did a show, I guess.
yeah. Um, yeah. It depends on what we want to talk about. We both went out and did Revolution Motorsports first event of the year. We've spoken since I did Spawn.
Did we speak? No, I don't
Yeah.
think so.
So
No,
I've drifted a
because
bunch and haven't
you
been
drifted
on.
for like every weekend for
No, I
a
did
month
three
almost.
three out of the last 4 weekends.
Yeah.
It's been pretty good. Some crashes, some bashes, some.
All legal, all in New South Wales too, wasn't it?
Yep,
Yep.
yep. It was good. Good
Crap ton
times.
of events. And like even looking towards the future, there's like so many events in New South Wales and so many potential events as well.
Yeah, it's sort of just getting. For me now, it's just trying to get with the right group of guys to go and drive with. Doing Spawn was good, except a lot of the guys there, big horsepower and fast, or sort of sticking to their own. And then after having a bit of a accident early in the day following a friend, I packed up and went home at lunch because I had Revolution the following weekend, and then no, sorry, 2 weekends after that, and then the passenger laps at Luddenham and the car had to be semi-presentable for Luddenham, so I sort of didn't want to take any more chances. I was already with my exhausts pointing out sideways like they weren't supposed to be. The cabin was filling with fumes and slowly melting my rear bumper to the ground. So I thought it
Sounds
was
like my car.
yeah, but again, that's why you weren't invited to Luddenham, because I said semi-presentable car.
Yeah, no, you fixed it up pretty quick. I was kind of,
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping it'd be beat up by uh, the next weekend, the following weekend, so that way I felt
Oh, I wouldn't care
not
if any.
so
I'm happy for
cautious
people to
about
run
maybe.
into the side of it because Luke's done it a bunch of times, and all I do is clean the rubber marks off it and leave what's underneath it. So
Yeah, but the skill difference between me and Luke is I don't
a
think
little
it'll
bit
fit in this
different.
screen. Yeah. So where he'd just like might give you a little mark, I'd probably leave.
A
I don't
cave
know.
door.
Yeah, probably.
That's all right. Then I put a door on that matches my rear bumper, so it'll just slowly change. The car will just slowly change color.
Yeah. But,
But yeah, overall, so I guess Spawn was the first event that I drove, and I think it was only around 40 cars or something like that. Overall, really good day. But just yeah, a little bit quiet. Uh, Only running the one direction, but yeah, still overall really good. And then Revolution ended up being, I think, around the same numbers as what Spawn had, but I think the fact that that was in the middle of that New South Wales
yeah.
storm, we're expecting numbers to be down, and the track to be just terrible. But I couldn't believe the amount of grip that track
I
has in the
know.
wet.
That was crazy. Like I think I spoke to Pete Rafalo beforehand because he said he'd been out in the wet,
Yeah,
and he's like, "No, it's pretty grippy. Like it's not like Wakefield or anything where it just sort of goes to ice. It's like it's got a good amount of grip." And then I went on. I was sort of cautious to begin with, and then it's like, "Oh, need to go a bit quicker. Need to go a bit quicker." And it's like, "Yeah, it's not that bad. Hey, it's like."
yeah, yeah. Literally, it was sort of like brought the track to a level of just sort of the water was there to cool tires, I guess.
Yeah, yeah,
Like it basically had no impact. Like I was getting a a fair bit of understeer on trying to turn in, but in some ways I think that's better anyway, because it means that you're sort of not relying so heavily on front grip and you're able to use the rear grip to do your thing. So I sort of kept the car set up like I would in the dry, with the same pressures I'd run in the dry, and other than a bit of turn in understeer to start with, once it was sideways it was perfect. And like it'd be pissing rain outside the car and there'd be tire squeal, and you're just like, why have I got tire squeal when it's like absolutely torrential out?
I know, it was bucketing.
So no, that was really cool. And I saw you out there just before lunch doing some look like top of thirds into the first corner, trying to get a bit of a line down.
No, I was just being. I'll post the video up later, but no, I was just being a dickhead. I was just seeing if I can do something cool, but it just didn't eventuate.
No, it looked pretty cool. You're doing pretty good, but you would have been close to top of third at that stage, right?
No, like I did the thing of backing off because I got scared of the wall in front of me. So you know how I don't know if it happens to you, but like you get scared and you just like
Yeah. My main thing is the thing I get most worried about sometimes is I don't want to run out of revs. So I don't want to grab another gear and I don't want to run out of revs. Like I always give myself, that sort of 1,000 to 1,500 RPM to try and do a clutch kick or
the out of the usable power band.
Yeah, like just before redline, just try and have a little bit more space so that when you try and do a kick or a little feint, you've got some more drive rather than having to grab handbrake or not grab another gear. So that's where I get a little bit more funny about things. But yeah, you're doing some cool things. I think if that's the section of track that DCA ends up running, it's going to be a really good round 2 of DCA down at that track, because everybody's like, oh, not great for spectators, but I was standing with one of the other guys along the main straight, and you sort of, you lose the cars a little bit as you come through the second corner, but you can still kind of see the roof of the car, so it'll still give a really good indicator of how close together the cars are. And if you're up on where that shipping container sort of skeleton is, up on top of the hill, viewing's going to be perfect. Like you're still going to be able to get a couple of hundred people there that can clearly see what's going on. So it should be really good. And I would imagine from a judging point of view, you probably try and put judges out in the middle of the track somewhere, or up on top of that hill, or even in the race control tower or something like that wouldn't be a bad spot to even watch from. So
yeah, I'd like to be on track, but like on that wall, along that wall.
Yeah, on the end, where the wall ends, sort of thing, or something like that, or even just down on the entry wall.
Yeah, somewhere around there, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, that should definitely be exciting. And I think I only did a couple of laps with you, I'm pretty sure. In a group.
Yeah, I was really worried about crashing into people actually that weekend.
Yeah.
So...
and there were, I think it was only the two accidents for the day.
Big ones. Yeah,
the poor guy in the JZX 100, the hand, I think it's got hand controls in it.
Yeah.
Sort of stove the wall at the very top of the hill, which sucked a lot. And then your mate Sebastian discovering the new section of backward facing wall, which I think, after speaking to Nick, it sounds like that every single one of the walls has been backward facing walls has now been collected. So.
Oh really?
Yeah. So that's all of them. So everybody can write them off. But yeah, it's amazing how soft the front of a S chassis is.
No, it's not. It's so shit.
Yeah.
S chassis are like weaker, especially S13s. They're not very strong at all.
Somebody who said that they saw him put into the wall said he would have only been going like 20 or 30k an hour, and it just.
Oh really?
Yeah, he wasn't going very fast.
I was just about to head out, and I was going to go bully him, but.
Yeah, then he looked like he met a power pole or I don't know.
Just good hit.
Yeah.
It looks like it's okay.
Just to pull it straight.
Well, so Do we describe it? So what happened? Like he almost put it exactly in the middle of the car.
Oh, he middled the dead side of a wall. So he's
So
how wide would you say the wall was? Probably about 30 centimeters. Yeah, probably about a foot wide, so about 30 centimeters.
yeah, I was told like because they double their recommended size is what I
Really?
remember. Yeah, like they only need
But
half of it apparently.
yeah, it would still only be about, I would say about 30. Oh, maybe a little bit wider, but still wouldn't be anywhere between sort of 30 to 50 centimeters wide.
Yeah.
And he's gone into the blunt side of the concrete wall and just driven head on into it. So,
Yep.
um, and
So yeah, he's taken out obviously the intercoolant radiator. And I don't know if it had air conditioning or not, but so there's a lower radiator support bracket where the caster rods,
yep,
brackets, and other sort of bits hang on to, and that was just like ripped out, so it was just completely pushed into the engine. The engine's pushed um, inwards to the car enough so the top of the engine hit the firewall, and it looks like it's bent. And that's all I could see. He did send some photos through. From the looks of it, the engine's okay, except for the balancer. Like the balancer's smashed. Um, so it's sort of once the engine mounts are broken. Once you sort of reset the position of the engine, you can check to see what's happened with the tail shaft and the
yeah.
gearbox. So the gearbox is actually locked into a gear. So I think it's actually done something similar to what happened to my car in Japan.
But it's also because
So
but it might be locked in a gear also because the gearbox has been shunted so far backwards that I think the gear stick is actually resting against the sheet metal of the car, so it might just be holding it in gear and can't do anything because it's pushed it into a gear and just
yeah,
physically holding it there. So
yeah, maybe I don't know. We just had to wait for him to pull it out, but it looked like the rails are straight. I couldn't see any sort of movement um, of the strut towers, but I mean it's an S chassis, so they do bend and stuff, so shouldn't be
push
too
it back into
bad.
place and leave it there.
Yeah. But windscreen's cracked. I reckon he's gonna have problems with the windscreen because that's what
Fitting
happened.
again.
Like I think you can fit it again, but I think the car's gonna be kind of soft and like my windscreen just keeps cracking. So
Yeah.
because I think it's warping and
Yeah. That section of track running backwards was a bit, not that part, like you had to do it like that section of wall and the other section of wall that the red car hit, um, the red 13 hit. You've got to be fairly offline to hit those walls. I think in the dry, what Sebastian did would be hard for people to do unless they stayed on throttle for way too long.
yeah.
But yeah, sort of to me the sketchy part of running that section backwards was just that the long sweeping, when it's that direction, the right hander, the concrete wall looks the same the whole way around. You can't see the apex of where you sort of want to put the car, and it just all looks like you're driving into a tunnel that's continuously curving, but you don't know where. You've got no references, like the walls are all the same color. The back to look to the horizon and some sort of background, you've got to look way above where your eye line would normally go. Because I started using the flags along the front straight as my entry points and stuff.
Okay.
Just to try and give myself some sort of reference, especially in the wet. That corner's really sort of sketchy to try and. I saw a few people going for it and just standing on it the whole way around that right hander. But again, with me wanting to drive Luddenham the following weekend, I just wasn't all that interested in grenading my car into the wall. If we do it again, then I'll probably give it a bit more of a crack. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't think many people got the line quite right because they wouldn't have enough legs or start wiggling towards the end because they're in the wrong spot.
Oh yeah, that's super easy to do.
I think if they had the cones like at the start of the day, consistently in the same spots, then you could probably judge it a bit better. I didn't do that section at all, or I would wait till I could see the hairpin and then just sort
Yeah.
of initiate from there.
Yeah,
But I
that's
was
pretty much what I
right
was
at the
doing.
end of the day. I think you left by that time when I was doing that. I was only doing the last two corners.
Yeah, I think I had legged it by then.
Yeah.
I was drowned.
Yeah, it was pretty wet.
Yeah, I had to fix it. I had VQ noises start coming out of my car, so I had to get underneath it in the rain to put some exhaust bolts back in one of the sides of the exhaust, because VQ noises started coming out of it on entry on one of my runs, and nobody needs to hear VQ noises, so had to save the public.
And most of the Revo guys left as well, pretty much after 4. They were packed up and ready to go because I was looking for Nick as well, but he was already gone by the time I got back in.
Yeah, well, Nick and Matt were both. I don't think Matt even had his car down there, did he?
No, I don't think so.
Nick was driving the following weekend with us at Luddenham, so I would imagine he was trying to keep his car straight and in one piece for that. So
yeah,
I think most of us who were doing that kept it pretty sensible. So
yeah, that looked like pretty cool event. Like I was watching in car and a couple of. I don't think I saw any videos from the outside, just photos. But yeah, you got some pretty cool photos there, and then the in car as well. That was
yeah, Mitch from MPN Digital did the bloody drive up to halfway hangs on. I think he said he left on Saturday morning like 3 a.m. Went up to halfway hangs, basically trudged around in mud, trying to take photos and tall grass and all sorts of stuff, and then drove home on Saturday night. So that's a 10-hour round trip.
Yep.
Plus photographing all day, and yeah, came out and then took photos for us on Sunday, and he got some really good shots. It was a little bit like Port Macquarie and Archie, where when he asked where am I allowed to stand and stuff, they're like, whatever you want to do. So like he was standing in the middle of the hairpins and stuff like that.
That would have been cool.
Wherever he could possibly get to take photos. So yeah, some really cool photos that Mitch managed to get. But yeah, overall, look, Pheasant Wood is a better circuit for drifting. The entry is pretty fun, sort of risky but rewarding at the same time. The whole first corner being completely blind with a concrete wall the whole way around it, and then sort of not being able to see the exit of the corner until very, very late around the corner is pretty challenging. But yeah, we all sort of got the hang of it fairly early and started pushing fairly hard. And considering out of the group of, I think we had around 13 of us to start with, and being a typical drift event, I think we ended up with 4 or 5 of us still running at the end of the day. Or not running, but still safely drivable. And yeah, we all picked it up pretty quick, and it was only Nick and Shane had driven the track before, so everybody got the hang of it pretty early, and we all started sort of pushing a little bit harder as the day went on, and got a few little trains and stuff going. But we all got yelled at fairly early in the day, and we thought we were all going to get sent home for
really why
disobeying a red flag. So we got told at the start of the day, like, blah blah, on this flag do whatever, blah blah. None of us really paid attention, and basically got told, and this was their words: Shane is God. Just do whatever, basically just do whatever Shane tells you to do or Shane's doing.
Yeah.
So a rear bumper had fallen off a car on a session I was out there for.
Yeah.
And the red lights came on, and so I won't name drivers, but one of them was Shane. continued to,
Won't name any.
But
Shane. Okay.
continued was he was the first person out in our group,
Yeah.
and so he was leading, and so he skidded the red flag lap.
Yeah.
A car behind him skidded, and I was the third car, and I sort of just slowed to a roll, but didn't go into the pits, and I just did another lap, not skidding, but driving around. And I think everybody else basically followed me. And I think a few, when they saw that there was because once you get through the first corner, you can see every other corner, so you can, yeah, if it's safe, you want to keep skidding.
Yeah.
And we all came in being like, well, we've only given our passengers one lap. Are we going to go back out? And the owner of the track just started blasting a few of us. Did you see the red light? Blah, blah. I'm like, well, what was the red for? There was a bumper on track. We wanted to clear it. Like, all this sort of shit. It's like a normal drift event. We'd line that shit up and try and explode it into a million pieces. Like, so we all got a bit of a telling off, but we weren't going to get sent home because the line for the drifters was like 3 times the length of every other.
Oh, really?
Yeah, double the price, but the line was 3 times the length for
nice.
anything else.
That's good to hear, especially because there's like some pretty exotic cars there from some of the pre-photos.
Yeah, there was a Bugatti Veyron that came out for the first part of the morning, and like, you know, with a $1.6 million car, you know, you definitely leave double-sided tape where you'd have like a fake number plate on it, right? Like, man, there's just like, there was double-sided tape residue on it and like all sorts of shit. And I'm like, man, if I had a car that was worth that much money, I would not have double-sided tape residue all over the rear end of my car. But I think you could pay more money to go in that. No, yeah, there's a bunch of other cool cars, but again, they were supposed to be keeping it sensible because they weren't in helmets, where everybody who came with us was in helmets. So yeah, overall that was really, really good. But of course, drifters get yelled at, but a circuit racing car crashed with a passenger in the car, no helmets. Another circuit racing car lost a front wheel that went flying off. A muscle car did a couple of burnouts in the pit lane, and the drifters got yelled at. Like, I don't know. So standard, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, look, it'd be definitely a cool track. Being closest, being in Sydney, it's good. I was down to not wanting to. I had 2 pairs of tires with me, 2 extra pairs of tires, but my tires were dead on the car. I was tired when I think it was just Shane and Sam, who normally has the RX-7, but he was driving his C35 Laurel, and they drove the last like 3 corners that we weren't allowed to drive earlier in the day.
Yeah.
But I couldn't be bothered changing tires and didn't bother going out to do that section of track. But yeah, look, overall pretty good track. Good entry speeds. I think I was averaging sort of just into the low 100s, and then if I got a clear run without another car in front of me, probably about 120 on entry.
Okay.
So yeah, not a bad track. That was, you know, I probably could have grabbed 4th, but again, they didn't really want us running off track considering how much rain we'd had in Sydney and how long the grass was. If you went too deep off the track, you weren't going to get back on track.
Yeah, okay.
You were going to get stuck. So that was sort of the upper limit. I think the balls to the wall of award would have gone to Pete Ruffalo. He was just driving off his chops all day, basically just flicking dirt and rubber and stuff at the guys standing at the end of pit wall doing, sending people onto the track. So no, it was really, really good. And yeah, Brian had a few big scary spins going into, comes off his win the day before and then had some big scary spins going into turn 1. But he said steering was feeling a little bit notchy and a bit dicky. So I'm pretty sure he's probably taking a look into that because the car just wouldn't come back for him and just rotate.
Okay.
I was a couple of times where I was first in line waiting to go on as the next group, and he just you hear the car coming, and then all of a sudden he just keeps going straight ahead and is fully backwards past the end of pit wall. So Shane doesn't hold any hope as to being able to do regular drift events there. He said enjoy it for what it is. The other really shitty part with that place. If a drift event was to ever happen there, you honestly probably couldn't do any more than, I would say, you'd be pushing it with 30 cars.
Just because of the pit
They're
space.
trying to park trailers and stuff. There's just we were parked in there, like they have a long driveway for the house that they live in, like the owners live in,
on the
that
top
goes
of that
beside.
hill.
Yeah, that goes beside the main driveway, and we had trailers like, you've parked each other in parking on that driveway, and there's not really anywhere else for trailers to go. And I know they had like a little like trade stands and stuff going on, but yeah, there was 13 of us plus a few other cars that came on trailers, but a lot of cars didn't come on trailers, and yeah, logistically that place would be a fucking nightmare. So regoed cars only, maybe. Well, I think that's really what they cater for in general too. I think most of the time they sort of aim for the regoed cars for track days, so that again they don't have to deal with that sort of stuff. So
sounds like a fair rule.
So yeah, we'll wait and see. Hopefully there's another one next year. It's probably one of those places that fun to go to every so often, but yeah. And if you're like Logan and your clutch shits itself after you've done, I think Logan did 5 laps, maybe 6 or 7, and your clutch takes a shit, you don't get to leave. Your trailer's wedged in between 5 cars in front of you and 5 cars behind you, up on the driveway, and you don't get to leave.
Yeah, I see. I get the problem during a practice day, but it really annoys me when people do that during comps or like.
Oh no, of course,
yeah.
No, and like that's the thing. Like on a day like that, it's not safe to really get the car out anyway because there's like there was hundreds of people there.
Yeah, okay.
So it wasn't really safe to try and leave, but it's just on a practice day, if that was the same sort of setup, you're there till the end. So, but we wait and we see, and look, as shitty as the owner was early in the day with us, by the end he seemed fairly happy, and the owner's son jumped in. I think he jumped in with Sam and went out for some laps and stuff like that. So we can only sit back and hope, and the fact that we were allowed to have 12 to 13 cars there was, a good thing. So
yeah, because this is the same thing they did last year, isn't it? They did a fundraiser, and
but they only had 3 cars. It was only Mitch, Jeffrey, Nick and Shane. So this year, lots more cars, and man, the public loves going in the cars. Like the age restriction was 7 years old and at least 140 centimeters tall, or around 140 centimeters.
Okay, that's like less than a normal day, I think, because the age
way
restriction
less,
is like
12 or 14.
Yeah.
So it was
that's awesome.
Fairly loose. I think Pete, there's a picture I think Pete put up on social media, and he's got a kid in there that was like super young. So I don't know. It's cool, and I think we need to probably try and get some more stuff like that going. I was gonna have a chat to Nick, and maybe at some of the rev days, if trying to get some reliable cars and doing something like what DCA does with the Ride with a Pro stuff, where people buy a wristband and then the pro takes the wristband at the end of the ride and they get a bit of money back for it or something like that. But it also opens up that you're not only taking mates, that people who show up that genuinely want to ride can pay a little bit extra to get a guaranteed ride in a car, and a driver could potentially make some money back from doing it as well. I think wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, because people paying $50 for 2.5 laps, and like, yes, it helps that it's going for it's going to a good cause. But
I just read Logan's comment. That was funny.
Yeah. I think I had that. So Logan said that he had one kid in the car that he doesn't think could see anything outside because it was so small. I'm pretty sure I had that kid's dad. So like those whole families like that you'd have like one person in each car as we're going out and
Yeah, okay.
things like that. So
It's kind of like the DSA days, but actually a bit younger people are allowed.
yeah, and sort of on a probably a slightly more exciting circuit. Well, definitely a more exciting circuit from a driver's point of view.
Yeah.
But
You can make DSA exciting.
yeah, I know you're a fucking professional at it. Just stove the shit out of people. Mate, before I even met you, I show up to the drift school and you're like spinning and smacking into Paul's S14. So
no, I spun and then he rammed into me. But
yeah, you shouldn't have
for
spun.
me, I shouldn't have spun. No, I was just being retarded.
So there you go.
You get good. Just get close to the light towers.
Yeah, well that's
freak out.
I would say the light towers is probably worse than the blunt walls at Buddy Pheasantwood, considering I'm pretty sure if we destroy those towers that we're probably going to get chased for money.
Yeah. No, I just got a bit closer than I was expecting. But still, like, I didn't touch it, but the guy just freaked out. He grabbed onto anything he could in the car, wanting to hit it.
Yeah.
It's always entertaining.
It was, yeah, a lot of people got into mine, and the fact that the door handle doesn't, you've got the handle to open and close the lock on the door, but I don't have like an oh shit handle in the car, and they weren't sure what to hold on to. So, and then a lot of people sort of don't expect, because of the section wheel drifting, the spectator area, you can't really see most of it.
Yeah, okay.
So they can sort of see the entry and then you disappear. And a lot of people weren't expecting us to be going as fast as we were going once we were sideways. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's cool though, and I think trying to get some more of that sort of stuff going, where you get some more general public into it, not just people already in the drift scene, just continues to raise the profile. So.
Yeah. Did so there's no problems, incidents, major offs or anything?
No, I think, as I said, I think the drift guys were all pretty sensible. Like we had some casualties, like Logan, I think was the first one, shit a clutch. Both Paul Alexander's cars took a shit. Not completely, but just weren't drivable anymore. Nick's 33 had massive play in his tie rod ends and tie rods and everything. It's like every ball joint and thing that involved the steering rack looked like it was flogged. Like he probably had like 10 mil of play on each side, and the rack was moving too. So he sort of packed it up and kept it sensible. And I think everybody else was, and then just Brian with the funky steering stuff. So yeah, other than that, pretty good. And yeah, couldn't really ask for a more sensible group of guys to be driving together and trying to keep something like that on the straight and narrow. So even though we got yelled at. Oh, and the elevation changes is massive. Like you don't realize pictures, like, and even being like, I'd been at the track before, you don't realize how much the track falls away, and how quickly it falls away. Like if we ran
is that more than rural one?
Like the last three corners coming down the hill, if we're allowed to skid it, or when the other guy skidded it, falls away way quicker than I thought it would fall away. Like it falls probably, shit, I wouldn't even know. Shane would probably be able to tell us, like probably 10 to 15 meters in elevation over probably a distance of 50 meters.
Like pretty steep.
It's steep. Maybe over 100 meters, but it's steep because it's winding back in on itself. Like it's steep. Like you would be off throttle the whole. Like I think when the other guy skidded it, you're pretty much off throttle the whole way down. You sort of would get back on throttle to point it where you want it, and then you're off throttle. So yeah, and the section sort of coming up over the top of the crest where there's like the little kink. so there's like the big sweeping right that we
Yeah.
stop drifting at, and then there's a little kink to the left, and then a big and then a little kink to the right, like the big sweeping right. If you fucked up there and hit that Armco barrier and hit it fast enough and you got air before you hit it, you then go flying over the backside of this embankment that there's nothing behind it, and you fall probably like 10 meters. Like, you realize, like, yeah,
Someone's
I wouldn't
going to do it
necessarily.
eventually.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not sure I'd want to be there in a really fast circuit car and
Yeah,
lose
okay.
brakes or some shit like that. So.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, but we'll wait and see what happens moving into the future. But great opportunity. Can't thank Shane enough, and honestly can't thank the group of guys who were driving enough for how sensible and how switched on we all stayed during the day. Considering, like, it was a big ask because you weren't given exact times for sessions. You basically just had to stand by your car all day and be told, "Oh, time to go," and then we get stuck sitting in the car for like 20 minutes before we'd get out on track with some random that we had to small talk and keep them entertained and stuff like that. So I think everybody did a great job. So yeah. Did you watch any of? I guess you watched a little bit of Saturday's event.
Yeah,
We normally we
pretty much
don't normally
all of
talk
it.
about it, but it was look, it's worth talking about because Matt Harvey's come from DCA and just basically spanked. Well, no, let's not say basically spanked the shit out of everybody. He showed up and fucking spanked the shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
I think that sort of thing demonstrates where you go and learn to drive in this country, and then where you publicly go to spank the shit out of people who haven't gone there to learn how to drive.
And Matt Harvey is amongst the top in DCA as well. So he's not just
Yeah.
like the top.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
a big group of people up there with him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know how many rounds of DCA Matt's actually won. I think he's won a couple, but he hasn't won the majority of events that he's entered in DCA.
No, it's been pretty close between him and Dale usually, and then something happens and he knocks himself out. Oh, like Matt.
Yeah,
knocks
but then you
himself
got
out.
like you've got your Scott Millers, your Chops, your Jackson Snells. Like, there's all sorts of dudes who show up and throw it in there and do stuff. And also, there's that other competitor that always seems to take Matt Harvey out. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. His name's Matt Harvey. And Matt Harvey didn't take Matt Harvey out over the weekend.
No.
And there was a few opportunities where Matt really could have taken Matt out because other drivers were doing some funky shit around him, and man, the dude was just on fucking rails.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he was cool.
He had the 350 basically Wisefab park in front of him on one of the entries. He parked his car and then nailed the clutch dump at the right time and just stuck to him like glue the rest of the track. And there were a few incidences like that where you really could have messed up as a chase car, and fuck, I don't know if he had ESP or some shit on, because he yeah, definitely super switched on. Yeah, other than that, it was good to see Brian do well in Pro-Am. Not really a surprise. Guy knows how to drive. I think he's planning on doing a little bit more interstate and travel this year. He hasn't generally done all that much travel, but I know he's got a trailer and stuff now. He used to rent, so he's looking at doing a bit more stuff. So look, I'm sure Matt Harvey will now be on a massive charge for the rest of the year, and we wait and see what he does with that. And yeah, I'll keep watching while he keeps driving good, because it's just fun to watch him do his thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of wonder how things will play out for the people that are already like what do you say? So the existing group of competitors there is if they, because with Matt in that competition now, they all have to pick up the game.
Oh, massively.
And
But it's because of what he does. Like he's been in a car that he hasn't fucked with that much. Okay, going for a massive engine transplant is a big change, but everything else is still the same chassis. It's got a little bit extra weight, whatever. But then the dude drives on the sims and stuff all the time. I'm pretty sure he's on the simulator almost every night.
yeah, probably.
Plus the fact that he just drove so many national rounds of DCA and stuff like that, and having to drive hard every single lap to have any chance of making it through and doing all that, rather than being able to be too conservative, especially with shitty judges like you on there busting everybody's balls. So yeah, I'm excited to see him keep doing what he's doing, and I can only imagine that Winton will probably see pretty much the same thing from him as long as the car holds together. I think what's proving itself as well is the more basic car setups. It's sort of, because I think Patrick Barley's car as well is pretty much the right amount of power for.
It's pretty basic. It's not even injected. Yes, it's a carby setup, so it's just 12-volt and an earth. And that's it.
Yeah, well, and but I think that motor itself, yeah, it's like a specialized sprint car motor and all that sort of stuff, but it's sort of the right amount of power and torque for the tire size. Where there's a lot of dudes in that series now that are running like 1,000 horsepower and stuff, and trying to put that through a 265 35 is not all that great.
Yeah,
it's like
actually, but Patrick Barley's an interesting one because he's predominantly NT competitor. I think he was at the top over there and he's been the top for a while, but he's still pretty strong going into state, where historically the NT competitors haven't been that strong. But yeah, it's kind of a shame that what happened to Mitch Dawes' car as well, where well, actually his whole trip seemed really bad, just with everything that happened. But then he didn't actually get to compete in his car.
yeah,
because he is really strong now, but like back when he first started traveling interstate, and even some of the other guys that have come from there, their sort of level isn't as high as it is now. So,
but I think again, that's a cultural thing where they've got a decent group of guys now who are really pushing each other. Like Mitch going off and doing what Mitch was doing, sort of spurred on a few of those other guys, and he was taking a lot of that stuff back to the top end. And I think the fact that Danny Probert and Patrick have sort of jumped on board with that, and probably in some ways are doing it now, doing it better than Mitch was doing it.
Danny must have changed his cars because he can't.
It changed the rear subframe.
It looks so much more sorted now than before.
Yeah, previously. Yeah, and it's funny when somebody gets used to trying to drive around an issue, and then they fix that issue, and their driving is so much better because they spent so long trying to get good at driving the car that doesn't do what they want it to do, and then all of a sudden the car works, and it's like, oh, this is how a car's supposed to feel.
Yeah, well, I told him about time attack. Like I said, there's something wrong with that setup. There's something weird, and what I recommended was for him to get someone to drive his car and sort of get some feedback, because I think he was trying to like
self-diagnose.
Yeah, and then I don't know if he actually did that or not, but it definitely looks a lot more settled than it did last year and the year before. So, because he was steering so much last year, like ever since he put that car together, there was so much more steering input than he should have actually had to use, and the car still didn't perform very well. Whereas on the weekend, it looked so much more sorted. I think after a little bit more improvement, it'll probably be a lot better because I've seen videos of him in NT in the other car,
Yeah.
I think they call it the practice car now, but and he is really good in that car. So it just seems a bit weird that you have a high spec car and it doesn't really perform very well.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like from what I heard that he's done a subframe swap to something out of another Falcon. So yeah, I think overall it's good to see a few of those guys getting their act together, and yeah, just still a few funky things. And man, I don't know, at some of those tracks, especially when it comes to the Pro-Am guys, or I think just in general, like if you're starting on a hill, like a upward facing hill, start further back. And have you ever been to or seen how they run the lights at roll racing?
No.
So you get waves off the start, and then you're only supposed to get to a whatever roll. And once the starter's happy with you guys being side by side and at the speed you're going, then you get the green light to go. Like something like that needs to be done for that sort of track, because starting just behind the crest, yeah, it gives you like a decent amount of run up to try and get into whatever gear you want to be in. But shit, like if you're in a low powered car or you're sleeping at the line, like
Yeah.
see you later.
Yeah, I did see a couple of those.
Like, and it just makes for battles that would have potentially been good. Just makes them a bit shitty. And I thought like all the clips and stuff were good. It's basically the layout that should have been used for wartime attack, other than continuing to run with the higher speed entry.
Yeah, I kind of look. I get wartime attack because I know being Suchiya, he's pretty much an inside clip person. But yeah, I don't think it has actually translated across in briefing very well.
Yeah, I don't know, but big cars should be fast.
Yeah.
But yeah. Your plans moving forward for the next little while? Nothing for a little while for you, right?
Revo lessons days coming up, so I'm gonna head down to that. I
Yeah.
was hoping that our new build will be progressing a bit more, but I still haven't got the engine for the car yet, so I've paid for it, but it's still, I don't know. I think they actually lost the car is what's happened. So
Well, that's no good.
no,
The rev lesson, I was actually speaking to one of the guys that came for a passenger ride in my car, and he's got an old, he's a middle-aged guy with some kids, and
yeah,
he's got a old Corolla with a SR20, and he was like, he's tried to do some stuff with it, and says it spins out a lot and stuff like that. And he's like, oh, I'm thinking about going to one of the wet pan days at Eastern Creek. And I'm like, fuck, please do not do that. I said, look these guys up online, go down to one of their days. At least you can do donuts and figure eights and stuff to get a feel for the car first. I said, like, the wet pan is the worst place to do your very first trying to like think you're going to get any proper practice in there, because you spend more time scared shitless that somebody else is going to T-bone your car than actually learning car control.
yeah,
I think not figure eight, wet pan teaches you how to go out on track and be fearless, because you think you're going to die the whole time. And so I think it's just got to try and help the rev guys get the rev lessons out to the public a little bit more, I think.
yeah, yeah,
Like and more just the format to people getting to know that you get you get to use your own car to do some donuts and stuff like that, and then progress throughout the day trying to do some different things. And I know there's only been the one so far, so it's hard to judge off that exactly how things will continue forward. But you can go to Drift School Australia in New South Wales and get a good feel for some basics with the cars. But if you've already got a car and you want to learn to do some stuff and actually slowly progress, or quickly progress by progressing slower, I guess, if that makes sense. You know how like wet pan is like you're just thrown in the deep end, but you never really progress properly. Where
Yeah.
Rev lesson, you can go a little bit slower to start with, but therefore you progress faster because you actually learn some of
It's
the
more catered.
yeah. So I think we've got to
Guided,
try and
instructed, something.
yeah. So it's just a matter of getting that out to a bit more of the car scene. I think now that it's becoming more of a thing, so that yeah, definitely going to be the place to learn a little bit more detailed. Which I started and peaked on. Oh, what do you think of Curse Sunday's new look?
Livery. Yeah, I was just thinking Fast and Furious the whole time.
Yeah, I'm a bit upset. Like they've got one guy on the team who paints beautiful cars, and then they go and shove a whole bunch of stickers all over it. So, explain that shit to me. I thought,
Just
I
looks
thought,
Fast and Furious to me. I don't know.
yeah,
It might be like I haven't seen the cars in person, so
I thought that group of guys was all anti-liveries and stuff. Like, isn't that too pro for them? Isn't that the group you're supposed to talk shit about?
it's. I reckon it's the in thing at the moment. Like there's so many cars doing liveries now.
Oh, look at that! The stance community falling behind the pro competition community.
No, it's because I didn't do it right.
Ah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. So the fashion guys are doing it the right way. They're showing
Ah,
this is how you meant to do it.
now I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've been a bit lost in it all.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm not sure what else is on the cards. Besides, I think I aim to hit all the Revo days this year.
Yeah, well, the next one's not until, other than the Rev lessons, will be the only Wakefield day for the year. So I would imagine that's probably gonna sell fairly quickly once once it goes live. So yeah,
Yeah, you doing keep it read?
nah, I'm stuck going to a wedding in Queensland the weekend, well, middle of the week after it. So I probably can't afford to miss that much work, and then the same days, uh, sort of thing. So, yeah, at this stage, no. Maybe I'll make the trip down just to have a watch on
That's Saturday.
the Saturday. But I was speaking to Pete on Sunday, and a few of us want to try and get together for one of the random. I think Pete's going to go down next Saturday, the 29th, 28th, 29th.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, 29th for one of their circuit days, but we're sort of talking about trying to get a bit of a group of us to go down, and just hit one of those days before everything else, because there's a whole bunch of time.
Yep.
I guess let's also cover a little bit about Archerfield. It's
Oh
been
yeah.
sort of high on the social media agenda. A lot of shit talk, a lot of just showing how dumb people are. I sort of felt for Luke because I copped the same shit when the 14 was stolen. It's like, well, doesn't the dickhead have insurance? Doesn't the dickhead, like, why can't he pay for his own shit? Why should anybody give a shit that his shit got taken or his shit got fucked up? Like, that's his own dumb fault. Like, that's the shit I copped when the car got stolen. And that's the sort of shit that Luke's copped over the damage to Archie. And there's a GoFundMe floating around. I know our reach is nothing compared to the reach that some of the guys who have been sharing that for him have been, but I don't think people realise just that they're not drawing a big salary out of that track. It's nothing but risk for those guys. And really without that, your drift scene in Queensland goes a little bit quiet, because I think you've got one morning session a month at QR and one Friday night a month at QR. So all of a sudden things get really, really quiet in Queensland if they lose that, and you lose all chance of competitions really. So Yeah, and look, the thing with that place is, yeah, it's on a floodplain, and that's not necessarily ideal. But the works that he's wanting to do, sounds like they're trying to do a concrete slab that's got some pylons that basically go a couple of meters into the ground, so that should the water wash away the dirt underneath it, that basically it'll support itself and still be standing there if that whole section of track underneath washed away. So basically the whole track could wash away, and the only thing that would be left standing is a banked corner in the bottom corner. So yeah, look, if people don't want to spend the money on doing part of the GoFundMe, just go to the track. I think that's the main thing that people can do, is just show up there and drive, buy shit from the canteen, go and spectate. Don't whinge about paying to go in. I don't think people realize that when you're mates with him, you still pay to go in. If you're a staff member and you volunteer there and you want to go on track and not be asked to volunteer, you pay entry. Like basically there's no free ride at Archie, because it's the sort of the edge that they live on with that track is not very big. They make it work, but in no way, shape, or form is it a hugely profitable thing. And I'm pretty sure that family's not building and buying cars off the back of the Archie money. It's off the other stuff that they're doing. And I'm hopefully with DCA making its comeback this year, people get behind that, and that'll help ease the pressure a little bit with the work that they want to try and do at Archie. But again, I don't think people realize that the track owners could take Archie tomorrow. Like, simple as that. So for when it was all going down, I messaged Luke and said, please don't take too much personal risk, because it's not worth it to take that personal risk for a whole bunch of other people to get benefit from it for a little while, and then you end up burnt with this massive hole in your pocket with absolutely nothing left, because you're an awesome dude who wants to try and do the right thing for everybody, but nobody actually gives a shit. So, or I shouldn't say nobody gives a shit. A handful of people actually genuinely give a shit. So, yeah, but if you're happy to support that GoFundMe. If a whole bunch of people chip in $10, then it happens, and yeah, the place is there for a little bit longer, and the track doesn't fall apart, or it doesn't go back to the old days of a standing start. I don't know if you would have seen old videos and stuff, like every single track day was done from a standstill, like their learner's day.
Yeah, I remember.
So
yeah, I couldn't actually figure out which way the track went, because it's always at night.
Yeah, so who the fuck wants to go and drive at a track that's already, not the highest pace in the country, and then all of a sudden you're forced to go from a standstill because parts of it are falling apart. So, and shit, people who don't want to go there, just shut the fuck up. Like, seriously, like, if you don't want to support the place, nobody's asking you to support it. It's like, if you're interested in helping us, please help out. End of story. What more needs to be said? But welcome to the internet. Surely you're an IT guy. Isn't there a way of like zapping people through their devices? Can't you like do some sort of voltage surge or something?
No, I'm just the IT guy that Googles every problem. That's it.
Ah, okay. Fair enough.
So you just Google it and restart the computer and see if that works.
Ah, okay. And just like Control Alt Delete and try and end task sort of thing.
Yeah. It's like solves half the problems.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, really, I think that would be a good way to deal with those sort of people, is if there was a way of sending some sort of voltage surge through their devices.
No, natural selection just takes over.
Oh, I'm sure it does eventually. They're probably all method too, so they probably don't have teeth.
So they can't eat? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. They'll find a way to eat something.
There's I think was it Luke's latest fundraising idea is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, and he's just put his. Well, I don't know how public that is. I know it's on his page, but
Is it? You know, it's public.
okay. So Luke's gonna raffle off his 110. And he's got 200
Oh,
spots
our
for.
numbers have been taken already.
Yeah.
Oh no,
So
128's still there.
there's still there's some interesting people in there too. Michael Prosnick looks like he's put his name down a few times. Shane Van Gisberg's bought a couple of numbers, I'm pretty sure. So if you're interested in being in a raffle for a JZX 110, jump onto Luke Fink's personal Facebook page and try and buy a spot, $150, 200 spots, and it's not bad odds. Jesus, Connor's jumped in there too.
Which number did he take? Where is he?
31.
Oh, yeah. 31.
So doesn't look like that. It's amazing how many numbers are already gone.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to buy number 1.
You should buy number 1. Nick Coulson. I haven't seen in a while.
So that's good. Hopefully it helps, and yeah, get yourself a JZX 110 for potentially
Soul's in there
$150.
as well. Yeah.
Are you gonna buy in, mate? Are you gonna buy in?
Possibly.
Yeah, if there's some numbers left and it's not looking like it's gonna get all of it, I'll jump in and have a crack. And then I'll have a JZX 110 for sale for $300. Fucking double my money, motherfuckers.
Alright, look. What's his name? Guy from America. Or was Australian. I don't know if he's American now.
Is that even English?
In the VE Commodore. You got his name.
Josh Roberts.
That's
Robert.
his name. Yeah. He's there as well.
Josh Robinson. So yeah, if you're interested.
Peck. Oh wow, okay. Yeah, I think
Look.
it's pretty cheap investment for is it 1 in 200 unless you buy another ticket.
Yeah, 1 in 200's pretty. Got a 0.5% chance of winning. You got more chance of coronavirus. No, sorry, you got more chance of dying from coronavirus if you catch coronavirus.
Prosnick's got 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers.
Yeah, $600 isn't bad. And that increases your odds to 2%.
Holy shit, that's $600 is heaps. That's like 10 tires.
Yeah, but Shane Van Gisbergen's got 3. No, Shane Van Gisbergen's just bought 4.
Oh, really? Yeah, but he's. Yeah, okay. Whatever.
So, it's cool. Hopefully, continues to fill, and I'll speak to Luke and see if he wants me to share it in the community group if anybody's interested. And yeah,
are you gonna buy in?
Yeah, I'll see what numbers are sort of dwindling and take a shot at number that is sort of. I'm not the person who goes to the lotto and picks the numbers. I'm the person who asks for a random pick. So I'll sort of wait till the numbers are sort of dwindling and then just take what's left.
Yeah, well, my numbers have been taken already. Oh no, I've got 1 left. Yeah, 22.
Oh, you're into Taylor Swift, are you? That's alright.
No,
that's one of her.
No, it seems.
One of her songs, mate. But
yeah, I know. No, it took me a while to get it.
Connor's buying the spot for Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine Connor spending $150 on a rear-wheel drive car.
Unless he can make money off it, he's not that dumb.
No, I know, I'm fucking with you. Anything else you sort of want to cover? I think there's going to be more and more FD news coming out in the next little while. It's still a couple of months away from happening, so it's been fairly quiet.
Has it? I've seen a couple of things pop
Yeah,
up,
there's
but
been lots.
I wasn't quite sure if it's starting, like as in it's gonna be around next week because I just don't follow it. Or
It's not till
if
April.
it's heaps far away.
Yeah.
They're promoting really early.
Yeah,
Kinda
they've started
good.
putting some stuff out, but there's still lots of like non-announcements out and what people are driving and that. So, sort of a matter of just sitting back a little bit longer and seeing what's happening. You know, Daigo's 8.6 looks like it's pretty much together and ready to go. There was a test video that came up, and it's probably the same engine package he runs in every other JZ car that he's got, and just in a different chassis. He's got a big front end on it, big wing on the back of it, but I'm pretty sure the wing's going to have to come off it for most of the rounds, so not allowed to run the wing with on any of the tracks with walls, so
Just because it
tears them
could
off.
fly off. Yeah.
You're allowed to run a one piece, you just can't run a three piece.
Okay. Only Atlanta. Is that right?
Yeah, I think Atlanta, maybe not New Jersey, St. Louis, because the wall isn't near spectators. But yeah, I don't know with that one now because it's got the one wall. But it depends on what direction they end up running to. Yeah, there's not really many places that. Oh, Sonoma, they'll be allowed to run it. There's been no announcement formally of the layout there and stuff. So, but yeah, we'll cover that sort of stuff once we get closer to it. I think they've finally formally announced DCA National Series, even though, Luke, if you bother to listen to this, I don't think you put it up on your. Oh, they might have done it now. Yeah, they did it yesterday. It's just been put up as an event on the DCA Facebook page, so that's good. So 25th to 26th of April, that's Anzac weekend, so not too many excuses for not getting up there because you'll gain a travel day with the public holiday. Just don't speed because you will get absolutely fucked in the ass trying to get there. But I think that would give people a day coming. I don't even know. Is that I think it's a Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, it's a Saturday, Sunday. So I'd imagine that the Monday will be a public holiday, the 27th. Yes?
Don't know. Just trying to look it up.
Because that'll work better for you too.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Then you don't have to take leave.
Well, I usually try and figure it out anyway. Anzac Day's the 27th.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, the public holiday.
Yeah.
Is 27th.
Oh, so you could road trip it with me, mate. No, you've got an extra 3 hours then on top of that.
When would you leave? Friday.
Yeah. Or
Fine.
Thursday. I don't know. Fucking ass crack of dawn.
Yeah.
Oh, but we gain an hour crossing the border though. We lose an hour coming home, but we gain an hour going up.
Oh, then I still have to take 3 hours to get back home.
Yeah.
On the Monday, which isn't too bad.
Sometimes what I try and do when I'm leaving Queensland is try and get a couple of hours down the road on the Sunday night.
Fucked. I just do one big whole hit all the way back.
Yeah, it's normally just to try and avoid getting back into Sydney traffic in the afternoon. So I could get into Sydney by sort of early afternoon.
I'd probably aim to get in Sydney at about 9 p.m. and then get home at midnight.
Yeah, nah, fuck that shit.
It'd be easier because there's less traffic.
Yeah, but I don't stay this beautiful without getting sleep, mate. That laugh's a bit rude.
Totally justified. One thing that we were going to cover was the drift bit.
Oh, no, fuck him.
Oh, fuck him. All right.
Nah,
No
fuck him,
worries.
because I told him I want my shit because I had 3 drift events in 4 weeks, and he told me, no, it'll be out in February, and I'm like, yeah, cool. February I have 2 drift events early on. Give me my shit. And he sent me pictures of the product, all sorts of shit. And fuck him, I'm done drifting for the month, and I don't have my shit. So, but yeah, he just put a video up a couple of days ago, and he'd sent me the video. Michael had sent me the video earlier, and it's some overlay of The Simpsons, a drift run from a GoPro, and then the overlay of the sort of the track map overlay of the drift bit, and it's it's cool. So hopefully that sort of thing's easy, and they haven't spent hours and hours splicing that together, and hopefully it's going to be easy to make that sort of footage. But yeah, I think we're getting very close to it being ready for release. It's going to be fairly expensive, it seems like, but look, if it does everything we ask of it, and yeah, it'd be just a really good tool. And for events like on the weekend, driving a new track would have been perfect because you can have a look at when you're entering and when your best runs and stuff, especially with a blind corner. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael,
So-
hurry up and get your shit out.
That's Q2 about this year.
No, February.
February.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
Oh, well, where is it?
That's what I'm saying.
I heard it was Q2 or whatever.
Fuck, he keeps pushing back his bloody date, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I know that they've got a run of product not done, but like of the boards and stuff. So we're close. We're close to
Okay.
having it in our hands, but yeah, it's just
Still waiting. Still waiting.
Yeah. Pretty much. So yeah, we shall see.
Yeah.
I said to him, you're probably going to release it on the 29th just so he can claim that it's come out in Feb. Rude cunt.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to cover? I missed Survivor for this shit.
Survivor, you watched that?
Fucking oath I do.
Really? Why?
It's better than watching 2 dickheads talk about shit on the internet.
Yeah, that stuff's pre-recorded, so just go download it somewhere and just watch it again. It's not live.
Yeah, but that's the first showing of it.
Who cares? It's Survivor.
Yeah, I bought a
Watch it later.
Chromecast the other. I bought a Chromecast the other day to make that sort of shit easier.
Yeah.
You know all these smart TVs and shit. Like it's so annoying. You'd think like you could get like every Android app sort of thing on like an LG or something like that. Nah, they've got to be licensed and all this sort of shit. So I was just like, yeah, fuck it. I'm getting a Chromecast, and then you can pretty much watch everything that you can watch on your phone and flick it to the TV. So
I
even
just
trying
have
to
a
watch.
computer hooked up to the TV and I just have a keyboard, so it's all.
Yeah, but $100 versus the computer. Like I know you probably just got the computer from work for free and blah blah
No, I
whatever.
didn't.
So
Because I'm dumb loud.
but yeah, nah, annoying.
I found it in the bin. I found the computer in the bin.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
And by bin you mean like somebody else's desk at work. I just happened to find it in the bin. It must have slid off their desk.
Into the bin. Into the
fuck
hopper.
bin.
Yeah.
Into the bin. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not sure when dates open for entries open for DCA, but keep an eye
It'll be
on
soon.
keep an eye on it. Late April, so we're 2 months away from that.
Yeah.
And then yeah, May 30th for the next Revolution Day. That's not a lesson. Keep It Reats in a few weeks. It's about a month actually. I think 21st.
20th Or-
20th and
20
21st of
something like
March,
that.
Friday, Saturday, and yeah, and then I would imagine Rally kicks up soon, right? We should plug it
Yeah.
because people get upset with us. Have Dylan and Blake and screaming at us. That's 2019. See, this is the problem with fucking Rally. Is they have too many bloody Facebook pages.
Isn't
Like,
it
which one do I go to?
Rally Drift Complex? Something like that?
Complex. But
Yeah.
when I put in the Speedflow one,
Speedflow is a competition, isn't it?
yeah, but that's why I looked that up. But so first
think-
round is 7th and 8th of March, and Benny Odgers just put it in the comments.
Yeah.
Ben did pretty good at that round of that competition that we don't name on the weekend too.
Which the green
No.
blue 15? No.
Yeah, the grey and blue S15.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did good.
Yeah, I think he knocked out the Canberra guys.
Well, fucking who's good that's ever come out of Canberra? See, you can't even come up with a proper name. Connor.
No. Oh, Jake. There you go. Yeah, it took me a while.
No, he's from Northern Territory. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, he is born here, so he's a Canberra.
That's fair. See, I feel that's how it should be too. So yeah, and then Rally. The rest of the country, I haven't been following shit.
I don't think much has happened. Oh, actually, besides South Australia.
Oh, yeah. Continue.
So I didn't watch that.
I don't know if you saw. So this is the problem when we go this many weeks without doing a show, but it's also good when we go this many weeks without doing a show. The Keep It Reek guys have announced expressions of interest and stuff for a series or an event. I can't remember whose Facebook page I saw it on. Did you see it? Probably not.
No. Would have been
running.
Keep It Read, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it would have been on their page.
Oh, I'm looking at their page though. But yeah, they're doing like a top 16 pro. And you've got here we go. Our first round of Battle Royale is planned for mid-April. We'll be running Street 16 and a Pro 16. Pro licenses will be open for application soon. Street is open to everyone apart from pros. Yeah.
I think Vic Drift had also started some events as well, which is interesting.
Yeah, well, let's see how they go with that. I think they're running Vic Drift this year. Like, they're running a series this year.
Yeah, they announced. I saw there was an event.
Yeah, round one is the 14th of March.
Oh, the week before Keep It Read.
Yeah. And I think Keep It Read's only got about 15 driver spots left, they're saying. So
yeah. So it looks really popular with people even as far from as SA.
Yeah, I think for that sort of one, if you're an interstater, then it's definitely more attractive because if you're going to drive up, you want to do a couple of days. Sounds like they're going to do one day one direction, the next day the other direction. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah. So anything else? You're happy to sign this one off.
No, I think that's about it for me.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll keep plugging along and actually start working on this car eventually when we get it.
Yeah.
So are you going down to the 86 Festival, or is that nothing you're interested in? Okay.
That's far.
Okay.
Again, I'm just trying to find days that people that I know are going to want to tandem and do all that sort of stuff now that I'm getting more and more comfortable in the car, and that's sort of my main thing that I need to start trying to make sure I'm doing more of is showing up to events, and especially at tracks that I already know, and just try and do some more tandem practice and stuff like that, and just get more aggressive with the car.
Yep.
But I think it might be time for some better coilovers in that car. The rebound on those shitty shocks is just, I think it's too fast. Like when the car, it makes the car really snappy, which is cool.
Yeah.
But when you sort of want to, I think that sometimes why it grips up so hard is when it comes back to straight, it just snaps to straight and unloads too fast.
Just like a front wheel drive car.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah.
Just like a Honda Prelude. Well, like I'm happy to chase you, Connor, but your car will probably be a fucking rocket compared to mine. That's for sure. And you're going to be allowed to actually be in the events.
Yeah. Well, Connor's got a full blown race car. Like he's got nothing in his car.
Oh, Jai's keen to see me pendulum again at Wakefield, but I'm pretty keen to see Jai blow an input shaft out of his fucking gearbox again too.
Again.
So, am I driving round 1? It's on the cards, but I am undecided. At this stage, I'm saying no, but I'm also thinking that by that stage I'll be hanging to get the fuck away from work, and I'll probably just load up the car and drive to Queensland. So yeah, we shall see. As if my car's 4-cylinder and yours is a V6, mate. Yeah, mine's
Connor's
like
is a four-cylinder race car, where yours is a 6-cylinder luxury heap of crap.
yeah, but like his is like a 4-cylinder, so his is like a dude who competes in the Paralympics, missing like an arm or a leg, but he's like super fit and like is good at his sport. Where mine's like somebody who's strong but is too busy sitting at KFC eating. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just the way it is. So, even though it's it's got some disabilities, it's definitely going to kick the ass out of the fat ass sitting at KFC.
Something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what week we do another one of these. We sort of we do it based off Greg.
I've
He
actually got a guest I'm trying to line up.
Have you? Well, you should.
Yeah.
You should give me some dates or tell me.
Well, yeah, I'm just trying to line it up. So.
It's not that same like we always try and get and he doesn't fucking come on,
fuck
is that?
that guy. No.
Yeah, no. He was watching earlier. Fuck him.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. Can only ask him so many times. Logan, you don't need to ask Ben if he's doing DCA this year. I'm pretty sure he'll be banned from Archie if he goes and does the other series and doesn't do DCA. Fuck. Good way to get himself banned from Archerfield.
Tassie's fun, by the way. DCA Tassie. It's good, cool, fun crew down there.
He runs his own business, so it's a bit of a stretch. I think it's not even the money; it's probably the extra days that you lose.
Yeah, well, look at Doyle, like him and his trek down to Tassie.
Fuck. Yeah.
I don't know how I can afford to do that.
Yeah, but see, there's a difference. Ben's a mechanic, so doesn't earn fuck all, and Doyle is a Sparky and earns decent money. That's the difference. So.
Yep.
So yeah, once we're off air, I'll have a chat to EG and find out who this guest is and if it's worth trying to get this person on or not, and then we'll work out which week we'll be back on again, or if I'm just like, see you bitches, too busy, not giving a fuck. All right, let's wrap this shit up here, and we'll talk some shit about some people once we get off the air. We should do like an after-hour show, but like it's like blocked to most people.
Why bother? You can just download, like.
Because like the people we'd let watch it wouldn't share it. Yeah, but
but it's on the internet. Come on, like you can. as soon as you put anything online, that's it. It's on there. So all
Okay,
those
well,
news and dick pics that you sent before, like,
yeah.
I don't even need to bother sharing them.
How many people can we add to a Skype call
We could,
before we have to start
we could
paying?
try and test it out, but still, like, it's on the internet. Like, it's just gonna be
That's what I'm saying. Maybe we could do it on Skype and just like let people that we like call in and they can just listen to us. Well, what happens after we get off air, and the extra 3 hours of just shitting on people.
doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It's just people get
fuck it.
offended too easily. So
Yeah, I know. It's alright. They don't have cars that work anyway.
yeah.
Or can't afford to drive. So, right, let's wrap this shit
Okay.
up.
Cool.
Peace
Alright,
out,
we'll
motherfuckers.
see you guys sometime.
With all our ad rev.
Hey.
With all our ad rev.
It's still live.
Ah, fuck.
There's just no video.
Can they still hear us?
Yeah, they can still hear us.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Do you want to mute it?
Fuck all of them, I swear to God.
Okay, bye.